So one day I was looking through my VHS tapes, and I popped this VHS tape into this old VHS tape player that's in my children's playroom. And I thought, who are those people? This was a VHS tape of me and my husband on one of these trips doing a snorkeling excursion in Maui. And we had moved to San Antonio. My husband had gotten a big promotion to be over South Texas, and he gives 150% in everything he does, so he was torn up over that and trying to do the best he could. And I moved these little children from Tennessee to Texas, and I was torn up, and that was the first time I got the shingles. And instead of coping effectively and getting out and jogging, we ate tortillas. I popped this VHS tape in. I thought, who are these people? It was me and my husband. I did not recognize us. We were so bloated and pale from eating tortillas. Our heads were this big. You could not fit them in a bushel basket. All right, so this whole VHS tape, and I'll release it someday, because let me tell you, everybody on that boat was from my husband's company, except this honeymoon couple down here on the right, right at the bottom, and they were practically fornicating. So I'll release it so y'all can watch. Okay. We get on this boat, and I remember it like it was yesterday. The first person that came to us was this stunning woman. I've never seen somebody as pretty in a bikini in my life. Beautiful, tan, blonde. She goes, I'm gonna film all day. Do y'all want me to film y'all on the boat and in the water? And it's this amount of money, and it was a lot. It was very expensive, and I went, yes. And my husband was like, handing her a credit card. And we got on this boat, and I don't, people were already partying. I don't like all that kind of stuff. I don't like to go out in the middle of the ocean. I was freaked out, and so I remember I had one of those patches on that keeps you from vomiting, but it gives you double vision at the same time. And everybody's on that boat having a big time, and somebody's cooking Chinese food, and somebody's serving alcohol, and everybody's having a big time. And then there's a man that teaches you how to snorkel on the way out there in 10 minutes. And he gives us all this snorkeling equipment, and I've got, all this on. He puts a big old floater thing on me with a strap and throws me into the ocean. And I feel something, and is that an eel? Is that an eel? And then my husband floats up to me. He's got on a big pair of goggles, big thing in his mouth, takes that thing out and looks at me and says, you want to do it? And I said, get away from me. And through this whole VHS tape, but I remembered like it was yesterday, he is twirling and diving, twirling, diving, and doing all this. And the first thing I thought, my heart dropped, and I thought, is he showing off in front of this woman in the bikini? Is he having unbiblical thoughts about her? And then I took a bait, and I thought, no, that's not who he is. That's not who he is. And I thought, oh, I know what it is. He doesn't like to spend money. This is costing a lot. I know in his mind he thought, I'm going to freaking twirl. So he's twirling and doing and doing and doing. He had been taking Propecia for about a year to grow this one patch of hair out. And Propecia works, let me tell you. It works. Through this whole VHS tape, this one patch of hair. And then all of a sudden, this big lavender thing comes across the screen. And I think, what is that? Is that a turtle? Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. All right, did y'all have a good Easter? Yay! All right, let me tell y'all, I had everybody at my house and I was exhausted. And I thought, I don't know if I want to be, I'm the person now because everybody else has gotten too old. And so they said, it's on you now. And so, I like to cook and all that, but it's a lot getting ready and all that ice in the glasses and all that. And my little mother-in-law, Gail, who is darling, who loves to cook, we were talking about our menu. And I said, this was a couple of weeks ago, and I said, let's do a tenderloin. And then we talked about deviled eggs, you know, all that. And Tess, my baby, said, we need to get a ham, maybe a spiraled ham. And Gail went. She goes, this is just my opinion. And we thought, what is she about to talk about? P. Diddy? We were like, what's she gonna say? She goes, it's just my opinion, but I think a ham that has not been spiraled tastes better. She goes, that's just my opinion. She goes, that's just my opinion. We were like, it's okay, Gail, you can tell us that. When my boy and his wife found out about this precious baby, they would say, their baby. And we would say, our baby. And then they started using words like boundaries. And I thought to myself, they don't know what's about to hit them. They're going to have this precious baby, and they're going to be up all night, and that's going to go into weeks and months, and then my little daughter-in-law is going to start hallucinating, and then she's going to wake up in the night, and she'll be breastfeeding a lamp, and we'll see who's got boundaries. Well, I was right. So they work full-time, both of them, and my daughter-in-law's been going to MBA school at night and on the weekends. So they are so tired and crazy, they don't even know their own name. They don't even call us anymore. They just let that little baby off in the yard.